Okay guys, so we're gonna do something a little new with my channel. At the end of this review, stay tuned because we are doing a giveaway. So yeah, we're going to have some products from Lamptron, but before we decide to give you all the details on the giveaway, let's look at what these babies can do. Hardware Hound here. So we are going to look at a couple of products that Lamptron has sent out. And so for those of you who don't know, Lamptron kind of specializes in fan controllers. And well, fan controllers might seem like a bit of a dinosaur, except they've got something here that really ups the game. We'll be looking at the CM420, which is not only a fan controller, but an RGB lighting controller as well. We also have the CM512, which is, well, just a straight up fan controller. We will get to see how these guys do and kind of get a rough idea on how they work. But as always, like to mention Epic Gear, thanking them for sponsoring my channel. I tell you what, really still just a huge fan of what they do. I love their Morpha X design. It's a great mouse. It's basically 2 mice in one. Check them out in the link in the description below. Let's go ahead, take a look at this guy and start taking a look and seeing exactly what Lamptron is offering here. Okay, so Lamptron included their CM512 fan controller, and this is just kind of a neat little redesign that just basically takes all the essential functions that you need and kind of scraps a lot of the fluff to give you just a really straightforward, I wouldn't call it bare bones, but just a nice fan controller that is dedicated to the purpose of fan controlling without being obtrusive. So we got just one fan here, but it's just really simple. You have a touch screen display. You can turn the backlighting off so it's just simple and doesn't shine out, or you can have just a little bit of backlighting that does just a simple white glow. Keeps, like I said, keeps this from clashing with just about any kind of build. You got touches to turn the speeds down. You can even turn it completely off. And then if you start, pumping it back up, you'll start seeing the voltage. So it actually shows you the voltage and the RPMs of the fan. You do have to press a little bit because it's a contact thing, and so sometimes you got to make sure you get that good contact on there to get it to move. But that's not too bad. You can switch between Celsius and Fahrenheit on your display for the temperature sensor that they have. And then, of course, if you just want to turn it off, you can hold the power button for a little bit. Turns the entire thing off. Press it one more time, and without holding it, and it'll turn it right back on. So yeah, great little fan controller, very simple. You just got straight plugins in the back with your temperature sensor, one Molex connector to power it. Really straightforward. So cool. Let's go ahead now and let's look a little bit closer at our fan and RGB controller here next. I wanted to show you guys real quick before we start talking about the lighting controls. Now you can see everything lit up still, but before we talk about the lighting controls, I want to talk about a little bit how these plugins work, because there is 50 dozen plugins and the instructions may not have been the greatest. So for starters though, you do have 2 Molex power connectors, one here and one here by this finger, and you do need both of them to power this device, so keep that in mind. There is a lot, and I mean a lot of little pin connectors. So for instance, the NZXT RGB controls, which I have going to this NZXT fan right here, they're these 2 smaller ones. You've actually got 2 taller ones here, and I think those look to me like Thermaltake. I've built a Thermaltake case before, but it's been a while since I've done it, and I don't have anything like that on hand anymore, so I can't really remember hugely. And it might even be these little guys here, because Thermaltake I might have been the one that had like a 5-pin that does fan and RGB control. But as you can see, the main point being, there is a lot of different headers. We have RGB fan controllers here. Those look like the USB controls that you would see for like a Hue Plus or something along those lines when it's an actual controller that plugs in the USB side. So that's pretty fantastic. Of course, we do have our nice little fan pin headers here for fan control. You can see here, the fan portion of my NZXT fan is plugged in right here. So if you have more of a generic 4-pin type header or RGB strip that you could plug into your motherboard, well, you can plug it into one of these 2 first pins here and get the same setup. So in this case, we've got the Lamptron, multi-simple, and so it just does some simple straight colors, no spectrum waves. Now, if you have a Lamptron programmable strip, now what was interesting to me is the programmable strips is just this little 3-pin connector right here. I'm going to see if I can make that zoom in just a little bit better. There we go. And you can see here you got 3 wires, red, green, and white. You need to plug this connector in the right way. And I read through the instructions and I either just missed it or it just wasn't very clear. And I'm thinking it wasn't very clear. But there's a little tiny plus sign right there for these programmable strips. The plus sign needs to be pinned to the red wire. I had this plugged in backwards, turned it on, started seeing smoke. Literally smoke. And I was like, whoa, and I thought I might have burned out this sample. Now, we do have the giveaway thing coming up. Don't worry, guys, this is not the giveaway. This is actually just my sample. So don't worry about that. Don't want you guys freaking out and thinking, oh no, am I going to get a burned out controller? It's still working just fine though. I was impressed. I thought I might have burned something up, and no, I haven't had any problems with it. It's been doing just fine. So it looks like it can handle some abuse and do all right. So yeah, there you go. That's how those connectors, kind of a really short overview. Let's talk about how this thing controls the RGB elements now. All right, let's face it, nothing beats having rainbows of brilliant colors shining right at your face. Of course, you know, opinions vary, but come on. You know it. I'm right. You're wrong. If you don't agree with rainbow colors, then that's just it. You're wrong. This is right here. Tons of beautiful colors. But the cool thing about this is look at what we've got going on here. So no software control, nothing that we have to use to run a program in the background. Simple presses of the button. We have their programmable strip that comes from Lamptron here, doing a nice little spectrum wave run. We've got our NZXT fan here doing a nice spectrum wave. And on top of that, here's just more of a simple RGB strip. So it doesn't have the spectrum wave capabilities, but it can still do a nice little color cycle. So once again, all we are having to do here is just press a button and we can start changing the various different color spectrums. So then like there, turned it off, we've got red, and you can see I've got the fan in this programmable with the actual, you know, the same kind of control on this strip in the same channel. So look at that, just all these different kind of colors, and I'm just going to keep cycling through them. So we've got different fade effects. As the more you go into this, the more you start seeing some of these pre-programmable features that Lamptron has. And they've got a lot of stuff going for them on this. Purple there looks really good. We'll just keep going through these fades. So eventually, you're gonna find the color spectrum that you're probably gonna like. I love the fact that they've got different kinds of patterns that they've programmed into this. Once again, this is all programmed into the controller. So we don't have to worry about, you know, trying to program things ourselves or having additional software running in the background on our computers that could potentially be buggy, cause system hangups, crashes, so on and so forth. So there you go, got through those pretty quick. There might actually be a few more options in there after you get through it, but I think you're starting to get the idea. Once again, on this simple RGB strip that's here behind it, the options are not nearly as much. I've been leaving this just on a color cycle because the simple fact is that you either do a color cycle or you've got some flashing colors, or you've got some just solid colors. So not nearly as much options to customize unless you have the right kind of strips that have that capability. So the other nice thing, so just a very simple fan controller knob. It could be a little hard to turn. It'd be a little easier if I didn't have you know, this thing sitting on a desk like this. If it was actually mounted into a drive bay. But there you go. You just twist this knob. The knob doesn't push in or out though, like other fan controllers where you click the knob in and then it would come out. They just decided to keep it really simple. And I actually kind of like that because it's just this knob is just a little bit stiff, and so it's a little bit harder to turn, but it keeps you from accidentally moving it when you're like accidentally hitting the front of your case with your hand or anything. Also has a full stop to turn the knob all the way off and turn the fans off. So yeah, that is just a lot of excellent control. I am really, really glad that Lamptron has given us this option. Let's go ahead, wrap up this review. Okay, let's wrap this baby up, and let's really, talk about what we have and just give a quick idea of, what's really going on with these things. So for starters, CM512, it's a fan controller. And even though fan controllers in a lot of ways feel like dinosaurs, it's at least going to give you a non-software controlled device that doesn't look too flashy, isn't going to stand out really bad. Especially if you are not into the RGB craze, then it might be your thing. But it's still just a simple fan controller. And I will say, compared to a lot of the software controls that allow you to pin individual fans to different kinds of temperatures, building all kinds of profiles and stuff, it does feel like it's got a little bit of a disadvantage in that sense. At a little over $30 though, that's not a bad price. And considering that it's extremely functional, has a very nice kind of brushed aluminum finish on it, it's a good quality product. I like what they're doing with the CM512, although I can see that one maybe not being as popular depending on the needs that people have in their builds. The CM420, on the other hand, is just something incredibly, incredibly unique. And one thing I was thinking about Lamptron is that if they didn't start picking up their game, I could see them really falling behind. The CM420 is Lamptron picking up their game big time. The fact that you can plug in just about any RGB fan or any RGB strip and get that level of control, it's fantastic. I love the fact that at this level, no extra software control. Now, the reason why I love it, this is what I love to see. I like Spectrum Wave. I love it. And the fact that I can plug Spectrum Wave in, call it a day, and then have it going without any additional software, I think that's really nifty. I like that. Now the CM420, it's running over $60 on Amazon, and that's a major problem that Lamptron has right now. Availability, at least on the States side, and a lot of time, and then sometimes price. This is just a controller. This doesn't give you fans. This doesn't give you strips. And so the fact that you got to pay $60 just so you don't have to have software control, that's a pretty steep price to pay. And that's going to hit it a little bit, I think. But maybe as time goes by, we'll see sales and stuff, and maybe there'll be some ways to offer some good deals. Brushed aluminum finish with just the simple black knobs, but a nice little color indication on the front to show what kind of control you have on the strips. I love the design. Design is perfect. I'm going to award both these guys great hardware awards from Pure Overclock, because I really think Lamptron's doing a great job, but that availability and price, those would be some areas I'd like to see improve a little bit. Maybe we'll eventually see, as far as just down the road, an RGB controller that actually has touchscreen controls to give even better and more detailed control. That could be kind of fun. But hey, I really like the simple design here, and you gotta walk before you can run. Giveaway time. So guys, in the description below, I'm gonna have links. There will be some articles. What we are going to go ahead and do is we are going to run a Glean competition with entries, and the top 3 entries, or the top 3 randomly chosen winners, first, second, and third place, are all going to receive awards, with first place prize being one of these CM420 controllers. So check that out. check out the competition, start putting your entries in. We're only gonna run this for about a week and a half. Then I will announce the winners and get these things sent out to everybody. So, be kind of fun. First channel giveaway, like, well, maybe not the first. I did have another one a while back. So it's been a while though. Official giveaway. We are going to see if we can give some of these out, let some other people have a chance to experience what Lamptron is offering. And well, I wish you all the best of luck. So go ahead, check out the giveaway, and I will catch you later.